Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take, well, a whole stack of information and really pull out the key nuggets of knowledge for you. Today we're diving into something that might seem really specific at first, maybe even a bit niche, but it's absolutely foundational to, well, our whole modern world. We're talking about global cable laying equipment market. Yeah, we've got some really fascinating data here. It's from Cognitive Market Research, and it gives us projections all the way out to 2033. So our mission really is to unpack these numbers, figure out what they mean, why they matter, and maybe reveal why this market, which most of us probably don't think about, is so critical. It powers everything, from your daily internet scrolling to these huge energy projects. You might actually be surprised by the scale of it all. Okay, let's get into it. So let's start with a really big picture. This market, it's literally keeping the lights on and the data flowing for telecommunications, for energy infrastructure. Globally, it was valued at, around $3.4 billion back in 2021? That's already a pretty hefty number. And when we say cable laying equipment, just to clarify, we mean everything from those enormous ships laying fiber optic cables across the oceans to the specialized machines digging trenches for power lines under our streets. It covers a lot.
It really does. And what's truly fascinating, I think, is where it's going. It's not static. This market is set for really consistent, steady expansion. We're looking at nearly $4 billion by 2025, and then climbing quite significantly to over $5.4 billion by 2033. Now, that works out to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of just over 4%.
Okay, 4%.
Yeah. And for a foundational industry like this, that's a strong, steady signal. It shows ongoing demand, which, it kind of begs the question, what exactly is driving that consistent growth in an industry that's sort of hidden?
That is the key question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it just like the general march of digital transformation, or is it something more specific? What are the big trends hitting these numbers?
Well, it seems to be a powerful kind of dual push, actually. On one side, you've got this massive global hunger for faster internet, right? Rolling out 5G, connecting places that weren't connected before. And that needs just miles and miles of new fiber optic cable, both on land and, importantly, under the sea. Then on the other hand, there's the huge global shift towards renewables, especially things like offshore wind farms.
Right.
And those need completely new, extensive power grids to bring the energy ashore. Often that means laying heavy-duty cables underwater or burying them underground. These aren't just small upgrades, they're absolutely monumental infrastructure projects.
That dual driver data and energy that really puts the growth into perspective.
Yeah, okay.
And it gets even more interesting when we break it down by region, right? See how different parts of the world are contributing. North America, for example, held a really significant share, over $1 billion in 2021. And it's projected to grow to, over $1.8 billion by 2033.
That's right. And within North America, the U.S. is, it's clearly the dominant force there. Its market alone was nearly $1 billion in 2021, projected to hit almost $1.5 billion by 2033.
Wow.
And that growth, it seems largely driven by, ongoing infrastructure upgrades, replacing old grids, plus the big push for 5G, which needs so much fiber optic cable.
Right, that densification.
Exactly. And Canada and Mexico, they also show good, steady growth. It's just, a solid regional commitment to modernizing.
Okay, so North America is busy upgrading and expanding its core networks. Makes sense. But what about across the pond, Europe? Are we seeing similar patterns there, or are there different things shaping their market?
Europe's market is definitely healthy, too. It was over $680 million back in 2021. And it's set to expand, getting close to $1.05 billion by 2033. Germany is really leading the charge in Europe. Significant growth projected there from about $134 million up to over $219 million.
Okay.
The UK, France, Italy, Spain, they also show strong, consistent numbers. What seems particularly notable in Europe, though, is that strong push for renewables we mentioned.
Especially offshore wind.
Exactly. That really demands sophisticated subsea cable laying tech. It's interesting that Russia shows a bit slower growth compared to others in Europe. Could be different investment cycles, maybe different priorities there.
Interesting detail.
Yeah, and even smaller countries like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, they're contributing notably too.
Yeah.
Often driven by things like smart grid projects or cross-border energy links.
Got it. Okay, now, let's shift gears a bit. Asia Pacific. The data points to this region as being, the real engine of growth globally in this market. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Dynamic is the word.
It started near $1 billion in 2021. Projected to hit an impressive $1.74 billion by 2033. That's a huge jump.
It is.
What's specifically driving that kind of dynamism compared to, say, North America's more steady pace.
Well, if you look at the bigger picture in Asia Pacific, it almost seems inevitable, you know? You've got rapid urbanization happening on a massive scale, huge population growth, and this incredible leap in digital connectivity. It's all happening at once.
A perfect storm for cable demand.
Pretty much. China is just a colossal player, poised to nearly double its market size from around $285 million to over $517 million by 2033.
Wow.
Japan shows really robust growth, too. And India. India is climbing aggressively, from about $140 million to over $275 million.
But India's growth is particularly strong then.
Yeah, it really signals massive investment, both in digital infrastructure and in power transmission to support that booming economy. And then you've got South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, all making significant contributions, often focusing on high-speed data networks, advanced smart city projects. The whole Southeast Asia region, really, is seeing this broad push for better connectivity.
It's almost hard to wrap your head around the sheer scale of these projects sometimes. These figures are huge. Could you maybe give us a quick, mental picture?
Yeah.
What does a typical big cable laying project even look like? Or the equipment?
Sure. Well, imagine for the subsea stuff, you're talking about a ship that might be the size of several football fields, and it's meticulously, slowly unspooling a cable maybe as thick as a fire hose, kilometer after kilometer onto the ocean floor, sometimes thousands of meters deep.
Wow.
That's literally how we connect continents for the internet. Or think about cities. You might have these specialized trenching machines, sometimes even remotely operated, tunneling sort of silently beneath the streets, burying power lines for new buildings or upgrading old networks, all trying not to disrupt life above too much.
Right, minimal disruption.
It's like a industrial ballet on a massive scale, really.
That paints a great picture. Okay, thank you. That helps. So, moving on. South America, also showing solid growth.
Yep, solid growth there too. Projected to go from over $220 million in 2021 to over $370 million by 2033. Brazil is the leader there, expected to reach nearly $145 million.
Yeah.
Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, they're the significant players.
Yeah.
And it seems to reflect, ongoing national development efforts, expanding broadband access, modernizing power grids to keep up with demand, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. And the Middle East.
Also showing consistent growth. Recorded around $165 million in 2021, expected to hit over $275 million by 2033.
Who are the main players there?
Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Turkey are the largest contributors in that region. Their growth often seems tied to these, really ambitious national development plans, building new cities, huge renewable energy projects.
Right, like NEOM and similar projects.
Exactly, and strengthening their position as regional data hubs. All of that needs a lot of cable infrastructure. Egypt and Qatar also play their part, often focused on expanding the telecom backbones.
Okay. And finally, Africa.
Africa's market is projected to grow from nearly $150 million in 2021 to almost $245 million by 2033.
And within Africa.
South Africa is the biggest player by quite a margin, moving from around $61 million to over $106 million by 2033. Nigeria also shows significant numbers, getting close to $38 million. The growth here, often signifies really foundational development, connecting areas that were previously underserved, both digitally and with reliable power.
Right, bringing them onto the grid, essentially.
Exactly. And the different growth rates you see across the continent really highlight the different stages of infrastructure maturity and the specific projects driving demand in each country.
So, stepping back then, what does all this mean for you listening in? We've taken this deep dive into the global cable-laying equipment market, a sector that, most of us probably overlook. But it clearly underpins so much of our connected world, from the video call you just made to the energy powering your home right now.
Right.
Even those grand visions of smart cities and green power.
Yeah, if we connect all these different pieces, these detailed projections across continents, across countries, they reveal this quietly booming industry. It's really a powerful testament, isn't it, to the ongoing, just immense global demand for better connectivity and for more robust, reliable energy transmission. It tells us that the foundational work, the actual laying of cables, whether it's fiber optic data highways or high voltage power lines that work, is far from over. This market really is one of those unsung heroes of global infrastructure, isn't it? Constantly working away, usually out of sight, just enabling modern life.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about all the unseen infrastructure that just makes everything else possible. Makes you wonder maybe what other hidden essential industries are out there, powering our world in ways we've never even considered. And maybe how looking at this kind of specific market data helps you see the flow of global development economic trends in a new, perhaps more tangible way. Something to think about.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're getting into something foundational, literally the backbone of our connected world, the cable-laying equipment market.
It really is. Often overlooked, but totally essential.
Exactly. And this deep dive, it's powered by exclusive insights from cognitive market research. So we know we're getting a reliable, accurate picture.
Good data is key for this kind of analysis.
Definitely. Our mission today, unpack the drivers, the challenges, and the really exciting trends shaping this vital industry. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it. It's fascinating how much this touches, from streaming movies to global energy grids.
Right. So let's start with what's really pushing growth. What's the main engine here?
Well, the research points very clearly to the increasing global demand for infrastructure development. That's number one.
Okay, infrastructure. What does that encompass exactly?
It's broad. Think new power plants, massive renewable energy projects, expanding broadband networks. It's pretty much everywhere.
So big construction projects.
Huge ones. Just look at the U.S. in 2022. Construction starts, they soared by 16.7%.
Wow, 16.7%.
Yeah, hitting $912 billion.
Yeah.
And within that, there were 31 mega projects.
Yeah, or projects.
Each worth over $1 billion. Together, that's over $105 billion just in those giant projects.
That's a staggering amount of building.
It is. And it puts, intense pressure on needing cable laying systems that can keep up, that are efficient enough for that kind of scale. It requires a whole new level of capability.
Okay, I see. So massive investment in physical infrastructure. What about the data side? You mentioned broadband. How's the demand for high-speed internet playing into this?
Right. That's the second really massive driver. It's huge.
5G and all that.
Exactly. The expansion of 5G, the push for better broadband access everywhere. It means we're installing fiber optic cables at a skyrocketing rate.
And speeds are increasing too, right?
Oh, yeah. Internet speeds jumped over 20% in 2022 alone. You've got places like Delaware leading the U.S., averaging, 145.8 millikeys. Pretty impressive.
That's fast.
It is. And it's not just speed, it's usage. Look at Canada. 95% of people 15 and older are online now.
95%, including older demographics.
Yes, even a big jump in seniors over 75 getting online. Plus, you add in smart home devices, nearly half of Canadian homes have them now.
Okay, so smart homes, more users, faster speeds.
It all means you need networks that can handle way more data, more reliably. And that makes efficient, high-capacity cable-laying systems more essential than they've ever been. It's about density now, too.
Makes sense. So we have this incredible demand, huge investments, the need for speed pushing things forward. But it can't all be smooth sailing, right? What are the hurdles?
No, you're absolutely right. There are definitely challenges. One of the notable restraints the research highlights is dealing with older infrastructure, specifically legacy copper cable networks.
Ah, the old copper lines still causing trouble.
Very much so. I mean, they simply weren't built for today's needs.
Right. So the insight here isn't just that they're old, but that not upgrading them fast enough actually slows down everything else. Like it creates an economic drag.
Precisely. They can't support the speed or the efficiency we need for modern digital life, for all these applications.
And they probably cost more to run.
They do. Higher power consumption, higher operational costs overall, and they cause real integration headaches when you try to mesh them with, say, 5G or IoT devices.
So you basically have to rip them out.
Often, yes. It means costly upgrades or just complete replacement. And the challenge isn't just the money, though that's significant. It's the time, the logistics, digging up streets, replacing miles and miles of cable. It can really slow down those big modernization plans.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that would be a major bottleneck. Okay, so challenges exist, but what about the exciting stuff? Where's the innovation happening? What's changing how cables are actually laid?
Well, a really big trend is the rise of automated and remote-controlled technology in cable laying.
Automation, like robots laying cables. Sort of. Modern systems now have things like GPS navigation built in, real-time fault detection, automatic tension monitoring.
Okay, so smarter machines.
Much smarter. These features drastically cut down on human error. Things become much more precise. And in marine operations, underwater stuff, we're seeing a lot more use of UUVs, unmanned underwater vehicles.
Like drones, but underwater.
Exactly. They can lay cables deep on the ocean floor with incredible accuracy and, importantly, safety.
So it's not just faster, it's fundamentally changing how projects are managed. Less risk.
That's a key takeaway, yes. It changes the risk profile, insurance considerations, even project timelines globally. It's moving from human variability to, well, algorithmic precision. That's the deeper impact.
Fascinating. Underwater drones.
Hmm.
Are they becoming standard for those big undersea projects?
Increasingly vital, yeah. Especially for the really challenging deep water jobs. And that actually leads into another big shift,
Which is
the move toward modular and multi-purpose systems.
modular,
Yeah.
meaning adaptable.
Hmm.
Contractors want machines that aren't just single purpose. They want equipment that can handle different terrains, different types of cables like power and telecom in different project sizes.
Ah, so one machine does more jobs.
Right. There's particularly high demand for hybrid models, ones that can lay both power cables for energy grids and telecom cables for internet.
And the benefit there is mainly cost.
Cost optimization, yes, but also um, reducing equipment downtime. Think about it. One machine can shift from a construction site one week to an energy project the next, then maybe a 5G rollout. That flexibility is huge.
Yeah, that adaptability sounds like a game changer for keeping projects moving. Okay, so we have smarter machines, more flexible machines. What about how the projects themselves are organized, especially the really big ones?
That's the final piece, really. We're seeing a significant boost from collaborative mega projects.
Yeah.
Think public-private partnerships or PPPs.
Okay, governments and companies working together.
Exactly. It's happening a lot across Europe and the Asia-Pacific region especially.
On what kinds of projects?
Big stuff. Offshore wind farms, building out smart grids for cities, nationwide 5G deployments,
Mm.
things that need massive scale and investment.
And these partnerships make it easier.
Definitely. They provide better access to funding, you can pool technical expertise, share the risk, and generally deliver projects faster.
And, this kind of collaboration creates really fertile ground for deploying these advanced cable laying solutions we've been talking about.
Right, because the scale and complexity almost demand that level of technology.
Precisely.
Wow, well, that really covers a lot of ground. A fantastic deep dive into the cable laying equipment market. It truly is where infrastructure, innovation, and connectivity all meet.
It really is. And the demand for these powerful, precise systems isn't slowing down. From smart cities to offshore energy, they're absolutely crucial for the way the world is heading.
Absolutely. And a reminder that all the insights we discussed today came directly from the detailed research by Cognitive Market Research.
Solid stuff. So here's a thought for you listening. The next time you stream a movie, use a smart device, or even just flip on a light switch. Think about those hidden connections. What unexpected links can you draw between this essential, often invisible infrastructure and the tech you use every day? And maybe what does that suggest about the future of connectivity that you're going to experience? Something to chew on.